Why do a lot of people act as if context is not important when it comes to understanding biblical passages? Because if you don't go over proper context, that's how people get manipulated and deceived. And people start parakeeting, you got to do this because this person did this. You got to do this because this do this. If I pay tithes, it worked for me. You know, you got a job. That's why it works for you. But when they try to say Abraham paid a tithe to Melchizedek, that means we're supposed to do it. No, that's not what it means. Melchizedek blessed Abraham after Abraham came back from winning that war, and the Bible mentions that Abraham gave him a tithe of all the spoil. One time. Never mentions that he did this continuously. And it never says that Abraham gave Melchizedek a tithe of his increase that God gave him continuously. It never says that. And you can't use Jacob, because Jacob gave a tithe after he made a covenant with God. He made a covenant with God that if God blessed him, he would give him a tithe of all. And that's how he got in that covenant. So that was, if you look at the context, that's how it was done. That was a choice. Now, when it comes to Hebrews chapter 7, what the Apostle Paul was trying to get the Hebrew people to understand is that we are no longer following God according to the laws of Moses. We were going after the order of Melchizedek. Melchizedek being a free moral agent, not under the law. He received a tithe and he lives. The Levites received tithes and they perished. Jesus Christ, after the order of Melchizedek, free moral agent, he live forever. He came from the tribe of Judah, which there was no instructions for the tribe of Judah to be of the priesthood. So it was a lot of error going on, a lot of false teaching going on back in those days. And so what Christ came to do when he manifested on the earth was to establish a new covenant through righteousness by the Spirit, where we will have the laws imprinted in us so we would know what to do as far as walking in love. But if you don't understand the context of the passages, that's how people are getting misled. So folks, quit letting these people tell y'all these cookie cutter passages trying to get your money. God is not about your money. However, I'm not saying that these churches don't need money to pay their bills. I never said that. I do believe that we can collect finances for the church. However, you allow people to do it out of their own heart, whatever they purpose to give. And don't say, well, if you give to God, he's going to bless you. If you don't give, he's not going to bless you, because that's not biblical, because he calls it to rain on the just and the unjust alike. And he said also in his word, if you ask anything in his name, he will do it. So quit letting people manipulate y'all. Go with the context. I love you. God bless.